What's up guys, Sean here, and today I have a treat for you. We are doing a disassembly and maintenance on this beautiful Reate Knives Horizon D. This is the blue Arctic Storm Fat Carbon version, and this one is also outfitted with Moku Timascus hardware, which is, the Moku tie clip and pivot collars, which is an additional couple $100, I believe. Very expensive, but adds some flair to it. Very beautiful knife. This is one of the knives that my good buddy Mike Bean sent me. So we'll start off with what I'm carrying today. And you guessed it, I'm carrying my modified Yojimbo 2. And I actually just put a fresh edge on this last night. This thing was still ridiculous sharp, but I was just itching to sharpen it. I guess one of the reasons is because this blade is so freaking slicey with this deep hollow grind. It comes down super thin behind the edge. So this knife really appreciates a nice, fine, keen edge. And it's literally like, when you're cutting with it, it's literally like you're using a fucking lightsaber. I mean, it is insane. So, super cool. I've been on a little bit of a carbon kick lately. So, I am also carrying my Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive Arctic Storm Fat Carbon, which I just blade swapped with my S90V PM2 blade. That was from a DLT Trading exclusive. And before that, I had my K390 Bento Box exclusive blade on this. So if you want to see me do the blade swaps, that was in my last video. And then lastly, I am carrying my Crewwear Knife Joker exclusive Shaman. And all these knives have edges done by me on the KME. Very sharp, very beautiful, amazing knives. Stylish, functional, can't really ask for much more. So let me clear some of this stuff off and we will get started. Alrighty guys, so all you'll be needing to do the disassembly and maintenance on this bad boy is a T8 TORX driver. I recommend using quality TORX drivers only. These are the best ones that I have found yet out of the many TORX drivers and bits that I've tried out over the years. These are linked in my description below. This is the WIHA Soft Touch TORX drivers. They come in a 6-pack. You get T6, T7, T8, T9, T10, and T15. So pretty much anything you would ever use. And the handles are soft. You get good grip. You have good leverage. And the bits or the tips on these TORX are hardened. And they do not wear out easily at all. They will not jack up your screws. If you're going to be working on your knives at all, it makes such a world of difference to have quality TORX drivers. And I have been recommending these for a long time. I finally got an Amazon affiliate program set up, and I have updated my links below. And if you use my links, I'll get a small commission for anything that is from Amazon listed below. So if you are in the market for some new quality tools, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys use my link and help support the channel. So then we will also be using my pivot lube of choice. This is Gunny Glide. This stuff is really great. If you have not tried it yet, highly recommend it. I do not have an affiliate for Gunny Glide, but I do have this linked in the description below anyway. And then lastly, I'm using 91% alcohol and a little sprayer bottle. This is not linked in the description below. You can use any spray bottle. You don't need a spray bottle, but it definitely is very useful. I recommend getting a little spray bottle. This one right here is meant for barbers and hairstylists, and it comes out in a fine mist, so you can distribute it evenly around a larger area without wasting extra alcohol. So that's nice, works great. And then I always keep some Q-tips laying around also, so we can clean in any nooks and crannies that is hard to get in with the microfiber. So let's get started. Alrighty guys, so we are going to start off by taking out these screws on the show side. We should only need to take one side of this knife apart. So starting up here at the pivot, and because this is some fancy, really nice hardware, I'm going to be extra careful as I line up the TORX driver and make sure I am all the way seated down in the head of that screw. And it's coming out nice and easy. You have really good leverage with these drivers. And that's just one of the many reasons these are my favorite. Get down in that screw. Gonna help guide this into place with my middle finger on my left hand. That's gonna help keep me from scratching up the face of the screw or the head of the screw. Don't want to mark up this beautiful blue anodizing on these polished titanium screws. All right, flip it over, let the screws drop out. All right, so we are left with nothing left to take out, and that is the fancy Timascus pivot collar that's just sitting right there. If I give it a little tap, that will probably drop down or might pop off when I pull this apart. So what I'm going to do is disengage the lock bar and I'm going to push on the lock bar with my pointer finger. I'm using my thumb back here to pry up on the back of the scale, and you can give the blade a little wiggle, and as you can see, that'll pop it apart real nice and easy. So you don't have to force anything. It should come apart with minimal effort. Sometimes you just gotta rock it back and forth a little bit. And this is the inside of that beautiful fat carbon scale. Very cool. Set that down. And let's see here. Oh, multi-row bearing system. That is freaking sweet. We have a steel washer right here, and it looks like we have ceramic. These look like skiff bearings right here. So we have ceramic bearings, and what this steel washer does is prevent these ceramic bearings from wearing into this carbon fiber. And it will also prevent it from wearing into a titanium side also, as well as give it a perfectly smooth surface to roll against. It prevents wear, and it keeps everything nice and smooth. So now all we have to do is lift up on this very gently, and we'll sit that down right there. There we have our pivot. We have our blade stop. Then you can see we do have a lock bar insert right here, which doubles as an over travel stop because it has that little lip that sticks out. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yep, see that little lip that sticks past right there? So you cannot push it past the point of no return. And that's our detent right there. Nice ceramic detent. We have a nice titanium backspacer. Very simple, yet looks to be quality construction. So zoom back out. Arius and that OTF to check out. So you can see me flick it and give my first impressions in that video, and we can compare that action then to the action after I'm done cleaning all this gunk out. I guarantee it will be much, much better. All right, guys, as you can see, nice and perfectly clean. Now we just need to clean these bearings. So what I'm gonna do, set them right there. And spray them down real good. Take a Q-tip, very gently. Oh yeah, you can see that cleaning right up. Look at all that gunk coming out of those bearings. Unbelievable. No wonder it wasn't drop shut before. That's all right, Mike. I'm gonna get you taken care of. Not gonna have any issues now. That's for sure. What I'm doing is I am simply rolling the ceramic balls with my finger. So I'm cleaning the entire area of the outside of these ceramic balls. I want to make sure we get these cleaned out real good. You can also soak these in alcohol, but I don't feel like doing all that. This will work just as good. All right, those should be good. And start getting this back together, guys. Take my Gunny glide. One little drop. Drop the bearing in. Spin it around. We're going to go ahead and pop this on. So I don't know if you could see, but I used just the smallest amount of pivot oil. All right, let that drop down. Make sure all the ball bearings are in there and we are looking good. Maybe add just a small drop to the pivot. You don't want to gunk it up with too much oil. I think I might have sat this down in that dirty spot right there with the grease. So we just want to make sure we clean this super good real quick. And so we don't cross-contaminate, I'm taking a new Q-tip, getting down in that bearing pocket and in the pivot hole. And just all over. All right. Now we are looking clean. Clean and clean. Oh yeah. All right, next thing we're gonna do, add a tiny, tiny drop to the detent ball. Perfect, just like that. No more. You can even do less than that if you can manage to. Actually, what you want to do, dab that a little bit, soak up just a little bit of that excess, because you don't want that running down your lock face, because if it gets in between your frame lock and the lock interface on the blade tang, that can actually cause you to get lock stick. So we definitely don't want to do that. Then what we're going to do, throw a little bit of oil in this bearing pocket. Not a lot. Just that little bit is more than enough. And then when we drop the bearing into place, what we're going to do is we're going to spin this around. Just work it around a little bit, and that oil is going to spread out. You actually don't even have to do that, because after you flick it a couple times, the oil will spread out on its own without any additional you know, work, but I just like to do it like that. Clean this real quick. Ooh, let me show you guys this. You can actually see a track being worn. Ooh. You can actually see a track starting to wear into this steel washer. So that just goes to show you what those detent bearings, or what those ceramic bearings would do to carbon fiber. And it's the same thing that they do to titanium and steel, as you can see. Ceramic is extremely hard. It's harder than steel, and it will leave grooves, especially if you over tighten the pivot. And this is multi-row bearings. That's why you see 2 grooves worn into it. So we're gonna stick with that and put those grooves facing the ceramic balls. No need to change it up. All right, so first I'm sanding down the corner where the stop pin is. You'll feel it catch on the scale. Then I get the pivot lined up, and then the rest follows behind. We're gonna, oh, didn't even need to push in on the lock bar. Looks like everything's set into place very easy. So we can go ahead and put the screws back in and snug everything down. I say snug because you only want to tighten these down snug. This is a precisely machined, quality built knife right here, and you do not need to over tighten these screws and really crank them down with all your might. That's how you will ruin this beautiful hardware, and that is not on my list of things to do today. So just drop one of the screws in. Be very careful lining it up. Getting the head of your TORX driver in place. We want to make sure we are not pinching this collar. We want to make sure everything is lined up perfect. All right, so it looks like this screw might not go there. Is this one smaller? All right, that one's smaller. That one's bigger. That one's bigger. Okay, I'm glad I caught that. So the one that goes in the pivot has a smaller face, or a smaller head on the screw. Still a T8. But yeah, you definitely want to make sure you are not clamping down the wrong screw over top of this Moku tie, however the heck you want to say it. You definitely don't want to be marking that up, because just these pivot collars and this clip, like I said, I believe it's at least $200 additional just for that. This knife cost, I think, around $500. So it goes from $500 to $700 just for those 2 little pieces of Damascus. Definitely don't want to mark it up. So if you have these same drivers, the way I know when to stop or when it's tight enough is I just use my thumb and my pointer finger, all right? And when it feels tight, with my hand open and just these 2 fingers, hold up, let me back out a little bit so you guys can see this better. All right, I'll show you on this last one. Drop it in. Use my pinky to guide the head of, or the tip of the driver into the head of the screw, so I'm not marking it up. And then look. Just as tight as I can get it like that. And when I start to slip with 2 fingers, that's how I know I'm plenty tight enough. And let's take a look. Hardware is still absolutely beautiful. No marks, no scratches. That's how you know you have quality tools. And let's see. Oh, baby. Come loosen up on this pivot just a tad. All right. Oh yeah, by the way, I did learn how to Spidey flick this. Got to put your finger down low in that groove. And really just don't think about it. When I try to do it, that's when I mess up. But when I just, see? There we go. All right, so still needs a little bit of encouragement to shut. Perfectly centered. Very tight tolerances. This one does have a very stiff detent, has a lot of lock bar pressure, so that will also keep it from free dropping. A little bit better. It's definitely better than it was. See, if I take that lock bar tension off, see, it's only because of that lock bar tension. If not for that, this thing would be an absolute guillotine. Absolutely zero play, and it is super smooth. Really, it's just that lock bar tension kills it, but it's still extremely nice. Very satisfying. So there you guys have it. Disassembly and maintenance on the Reate Horizon D. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.